There I is, and there she is, waving at you in the background.
She don't feel good.
No, she don't feel good. Weather change, folks. Sinuses. It hits us. Going from winter to spring and summer to fall, winter. Hits us hard.
Yeah, Miss Mama Linda, I missed being there last night, but I went to bed and I slept.
So just is what it is. I went to bed about 2:30, 3:30 last night. I got up about 2:30 today. So it's a catch-22. I stay in bed that long, I get all kinked up and cramped up. But if I don't stay in bed that long, I get all cramped up and kinked up. Peaceful Dad,
Hey, peaceful days.
go fix it for you. I saw you in here. So it's a catch-22. If I stay in, if I don't stay in the bed, I get all kinked up and cramped up, and it takes a long time to work it out. Hmm. Put me in a fresh one. What's folks call that?
Yeah, calm me down.
Calm me down. I don't actually need no calm me down. I stay pretty calm for the most part. I'm kind of an antsy type person. I like moving around a little bit here and there. I have a hard time sitting in one place, though. I sit in one place right here, but I move around, do a little bit. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday.
Having a better Sunday than I had Saturday.
Right. Well, you act like you feel like a touch better than you did when you first got up.
Yeah,
She got up, folks. She looked and sounded like death warmed over.
felt like it too.
And got aggravated with me a little bit because she kept asking me what I wanted to eat. I don't know. Pick something I'll eat with you. They're backtrack hooligans. Howdy. See, folks, I don't do good being given a choice. I'm not used to being given a choice. You know, fix, fix what you feel like you want to eat. Fix enough for two, I'll eat with you. Unless it's just something you know you ain't going to eat. But generally, she fixes stuff we both eat. To fix something, I eat with you. I don't do good being given a choice. Just not used to it.
After 10 years, they're still not used to it.
Right? Well, 10 years ago, I was getting close to 50. Now I'm a year away from 60. Melinda Dobson, howdy. Well, from all that time until then, almost half a century, I was used to eating what was put before me. That's how I do.
Yeah.
I am not hard to please. Indiana Chris,
Hey, Chris, hope you're feeling better too.
put something in front of me, I eat it. Unless it's something I just won't eat. Which,
Most things you won't eat or don't want to eat, I won't eat.
right? So it doesn't present a problem. Whenever she feels like eating, I'll eat some with her. That makes it easy.
Now, there's some things that I really like that he don't like, so I'll fix him something different if I really want to.
Now, before my surgery, it didn't much matter. I was called a trash disposal for a reason. Didn't matter what it was, I'd eat it.
You found out food had flavor.
After my surgery, I found out food has flavor. It unblocked some things in there, and I found out I had taste buds, and I was like, ew, that really tastes like that? The other stuff was like, ooh, that really tastes like that? Wow. So, made a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
All that big gummed up mess back there in my spine, that's where I didn't know what taste buds were until it got cleaned up.
Cleaned up his smeller too.
Yeah, I still don't smell as well as most people do, but it did improve my smelling. Things hit different. If it stunk, oh man, it stunk. A lot of stuff before my surgery, if it stunk, I about had to get my nose in it to realize it stunk. Like an old recliner I had, stored it away for a while. There was a puppy dog that used to be around a lot. He'd get up in it. She and another was like that, and that thing stinks. They 10, 15 feet away from it, and that thing stinks. I couldn't tell. I bent over to pick it up, got my nose down between that arm and the seat cushion and everything. I was like, whoa! Y'all weren't joking. But I couldn't tell until I had my nose in it. Well, I'm about the same backtrack. You got nerve damage to the spinal cord, can't do it so much. You get up crickety crackety in a kink in a cramp and you go to bed the same way and you just deal with it, go on and have a great day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say uh, might be quicker to give you a shorter list to tell you what's not wrong or hurting. Well, mine's a real short list. There ain't nothing that ain't hurting. That's how nerve damage is. You have some kind of pain here, some kind of pain there, and you have other little things going on, and it'll make different little hairs or whiskers in different places tremble like you got a bug on you and irritating you and all like that. And you wonder whether you keep trying to rub it off, rub it off. There ain't nothing there. I sit and watch different spots on my legs tremble. Feel like there's something calling. I look down, look at it, there's something up underneath there causing it to just. Well, that's right, backtrack. You make your own. That's what I tell people. I'm gonna have a great day every day, even on my worst day, because you got to live through it anyhow. So you might as well smile about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it ain't gonna get no better. It's gonna steadily get worse until we pop off and leave this world. That's just part of life. 9 acre family farms. Damn.
Hey, Dale.
Hey, Dale. You know, I say, yeah, you make your own sunshine if you ain't got none. We was at the store the other day, and we getting a few little things. Well, we wound up the line behind this real tiny old elderly lady, and I give her credit. It was taking her forever and a day. Her head barely come up over the side of the shopping cart buggy. Yeah, Dale, I did that just for you. And everything. And she kind of a little bit over and everything. She might have come up to here on me. And I'm a short fella. And it was all she could do to be able to reach over into that cart and pick something up and try to get it across that cart to the conveyor belt at the register. And so I asked her, I said, ma'am, I said, would you mind if I help you out with that? She said, no, go right ahead. She is still trying to work with it, even as I was trying to help her with it. Anyway, I did that for a couple of reasons. One, yes, it was going to get us out of there more quickly. But two, because she was struggling so hard to deal with that. And then got her stuff on the conveyor belt, and I went down to the end of it. And as the little girl at the register put it in bags and put it down that way, I take the bags and I put them in the cart. And got done with it, and I asked the lady, I said, would you like me to have you take that out to your car, or you got it from here? I got it from here. Okay. You know, very independent old woman. You can tell she's used to doing it on her own. Johnny! Small pepper.
Hey, Johnny.
I got your invite. I can't make no guarantees. That's why I didn't accept it or not accept it or say anything about it. About your thing you're going to have going on tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Good luck fishing backtrack.
No, you don't need to look. You just say, Lord, you going to give me some fish today or what? And then just sit out there and fish and do what you know how to do. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And then when you ain't having no luck, might be because Lord just wanting you to sit out there and talk to him while you fish. They'll want to know if you're doing well.
Feel better than I did yesterday. Let's put it that way.
It's weather changes, Dale, sinuses and all that. They hit us hard when it's time for the weather to change. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, it's like being woke up in the middle of the night. You just wake up and you're wide awake. You know there ain't no going back to sleep. You wondering what it is. Well, that's probably God wanting you to talk to him.
I do that. Wake up, start talking to God. He puts me back to sleep. He says, shut up, woman, shut up.
Right. So, so spend the time to go out there, meaning to spend time with God. Maybe God puts you some fish on that hook. Because it don't matter how good you are at something. You ain't meant to get it. You ain't getting it. Lindy Okie. Well, I'm sure glad you stopping by to drop in and say hi. Good to see you. Oh, cool. Dad's coming somewhere in Alabama. Josie! Kathy Naylor. I've been on not quite 15 minutes. Well, that's good. The sisters getting ready for their thing tomorrow night too. Yeah, that's why I do my great day every day thing. They ain't gonna get no better. Like I told folks, if this is how God has for me to live, so be it. This is how I live. I'm not through man's knowledge and abilities. I'm not supposed to be alive, no how. God had other ideas. Everyone said nice haircut to her lady. Yeah, she was ready for her haircut. She went and got it sliced and diced.
It's gone.
So she's comfortable now.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, just it don't matter what's going on. Like I've said before, instead of getting mad about stuff that happens, something happens. Well, that happened. What I got to do to resolve that? We'll get through it. You know, you got to deal with it anyhow. You're just going to make it 1,000 times worse by getting mad about it and upset about it instead of just saying, okay, that happened. Let's see what we got to do here. That's why we're supposed to give God the glory for everything, even and especially the bad things. Because there's always something good going to come out of it eventually somewhere. So with me, I'm supposed to be dead many times over. But God said, no, you ain't neither. A good example of God showing his power in things was when Elaine's mama passed away. Elaine had her on a DNR because her mama wanted to be on a DNR. Abbott! And, that was hard on her to do that. That meant once she went into the thing, they were on the thing to do not resuscitate. Let her go. Well, Elaine was talking to her, and it was time for a nurse to come in, do some things, clean her up, this, that, and the other thing. And, well, her mama went into having problems and arrest or something. And the nurse freaked out, and she hit that code blue. People come and running. They did everything they could to resuscitate her. Now here's the thing. She wasn't on life support, but she was on some machines that was supposed to help keep her living. And she was fine and dandy. Nurse went to turn over side, got turned on her side, and in that little bit of a moment, she was gone. Boom. Even on machines that were supposed to help keep her breathing and living. Folks, that's God's way of showing them that when I say it's time, it's time. And if I say it's not time, it's not time. But it's also a good thing because it took the DNR responsibility off of Elaine's shoulders and showed her that God says, it's time, it's time. God says it's not time, it's not time. And it took that burden off Elaine's shoulders because it hit the whole blue anyway. They did everything they could, but she was gone that quick. And it was her time. Well, I've had moments in my life where I should have been dead. I've had moments in my life where I was dead. But here I am. God said it wasn't my time. God was doing some things during those moments, but it wasn't my time to be gone. Yeah, I was dead, but it wasn't time for me to be gone. Right? It's hard either way. Well, catch a nailer, that would be my preference. But you know what? I've been dead 3 times. I know what it's like. I know it's just like the word says. Death, where is thy sting? Where's grave? Where is your victory? Yeah, I've crossed that threshold from this life to that life. I never felt it. It was like walking through a door. You're here, then you're there. Just that quick. You know, kind of like any of you ever processed chickens, the old hatchet and concrete block. You know, you make a quick swing with a good sharp hatchet, you'll see that chicken body run across the yard because the body is acting out the last thing the brain told it to do, run. And, you know, well, the human body's going to do the same thing. When a person dies, they're gone. Now, their body's going to flail around and do different things and all like that because it's trying to do the last things that the mind was telling it to do. It just can't. And that's what really freaks people out when somebody dies. They're seeing the last messages from the brain to the body being acted out. But the person is already gone. Do I want to have it? I used to be pretty good at it. You know, we didn't have some of the setups folks got out there today. You went out and you caught the chicken, you grabbed the chicken, you grabbed its neck, stretched across that block, took that hatchet, bam, game over. And I made sure that hatchet was sharp. It would shave hair. You know, so uh, that's what freaks people out when they see somebody die. Is the body acting out the last messages sent from the brain. That person's already gone. Who that person is already separated from the body. And, you know, the first time I was gone, I remember taking 2 short, very quick gasps of breath. I was gone. I was walking a lane lined with angels, being able to feel the unspeakable love, joy, and peace of God all through me. That's what it was like. That's how I know that's how you describe the uh, unspeakable love, joy, and peace of God, because it is unspeakable. We don't have the words for it. We don't have the brain capacity and intelligence to be able to come up with a word for it. I'm sure once we're there, we will, but It was just that quick. Elaine has seen me go out twice.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't around for that first time, but the other two times she was here for. And one of them is, she said, like she was locked in place in her chair. She wasn't able to get up. She was trying to get up to try to catch me, but she couldn't get up. There was an angel holding her. But then when she went to pick me up off the floor, she picked me up like an empty paper sack. I know that was an angel helping her do that. And we gave a few details to Dr. Slocum. He was the church counselor that was counseling us prior to us getting married. And we gave him some details about that incident. He goes, "Yep, you were dead." And but it was the same thing. I gagged a couple of times, went out the floor, landed right on my face. Glasses I had, it bent them up, it scooted them across my nose. It made a cut on my nose down to the bone. Well, folks, she had me standing up, and it was a few seconds, a minute, whatever, after she had me up and finally had me looking around, even though I was in a daze. And when I finally started really coming to myself, then it started bleeding. That proved my heart had stopped. I was dead. That's funny, Aaron. All right, Dale. We'll be waiting on you. So I know what it's like. I've done walked through that door 3 times. So I ain't scared of dying. I know what awaits. It's just that once upon a time, I would have welcomed it very easily and quickly. But then things changed. God sent me Elaine, and it's introduced us to a bunch of friends. And now I'm not quite so eager to die. I mean, if God calls me, says it's my time, I don't have a problem with that. No problem. Like I told Elaine, I love you, but I get that call, I'm gone. Cool. I ain't been up since 2:30, so I ain't got a lot done. I don't ever get a lot done anyhow. I just sit here watching and catching up on tubes and watching movies when I've done that, and playing my games. Might fiddle with the canes a little bit, might not. But that's just me. That's all I've got for now to do. But yeah, it's your time. It's your time. You know, and Indiana Chris, you out there fishing. Uh, or that was backtrack. You out there fishing, you ain't getting nothing. God wants you to spend time with Him, not fish. You spend some time with Him while you're out there, He might give you some fish while you're doing it. You know. Ah, they's on a boat, huh? Once upon a time, I wouldn't have minded that, but I don't know how well I would fare being on a boat today. Yeah, I can't stand for very long periods of time. Even while you're asleep, huh? Yeah, I can imagine why she says that. Something else wakes up and starts bugging her, causing her trouble. But well, now I'm at a loss. I just don't know. Anyway, just have a great day, even on your worst day, folks. Something good gonna come out of it one way or another.
Hey, Aaron.
All right, Aaron. Hope it turns out the way you want it. Glad you stopped by. Tell Teresa I said try to keep you straight. Like that would ever happen. Uh, so what else is new? I helped that little old lady in the grocery store the other day. Little cashier seemed to like that. Elaine liked it. All right. Letting the air run is probably not worried about them. During the halftime show, he's probably working on getting his choo choo on. Maybe some cold snacks. Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw is an announcer now. I know he's an actor now.
Ain't he too old to be playing football?
Probably.
Oh, he'd be way too old to be playing football.
Yeah.
As he's saying something because he's doing some announcing. Josie, howdy ho.
I just see.
Thought I saw you in here a little while ago. But I feel like I'd go back to bed sleep another 12 hours. It's just one of those days. It's gotten cooler. It's just 77 outside right now. I'll take it.
I ain't arguing with it.
It's better than 95 degrees with a 80% humidity, I'll tell you that. Yeah, Terry was a big name back when I was much younger. So I'm trying to think of what else. Somebody sent me a little something trying to be helpful and everything, but I might as well. I was going to do a mail call on this, but I'm not going to say who it was sent me this. They know who they are. Well, I had to let them know there's good news and bad news. The good news was I received it. Bad news is the wrong size. These are standard wrenches. The van takes metric. But they're pretty. They're real pretty. I like them. Well, let me know. I hold on to them. Never know what I might one day need them. They're real pretty. What it is for that brake line, getting that nut loose, so I can change that part out. And again, I'm not going to say who it was unless they want to say who it was. Yes, they are. They're pretty. They'd be very helpful. Helpful if if I run across something where I need those sizes for. That van takes a 12 millimeter for that particular nut. Gee, Abbott, I don't know.
Hey, Abbott.
Awful nice person though, whoever it may have been. And like I said, it was a very loving thought, and I appreciate it greatly. Just sadly, they're SAE and the van is metric, and so, but we'll get there. This means it wasn't meant to be time yet for me to get that done yet. The car will be paid off this month, so we'll have a little bit of money to work with. All right, Indiana Chris, you go take that nap, and so that's going to give us a little bit of money to work with to start slowly but surely working on paying off other things and getting a few little things and everything, and in all that, it may take a few months. I know it'll take a few months. I'll get the stuff to finish that van up, and because I'm gonna get a starter for it, and I'm gonna get an alternator for it, and I'm gonna get the serpentine belt for it. All that. I'll check the tensioner fully. And comes down to it, I might get one of them too. Go ahead and replace all that. That way I'll know it's all new, ready to go. I was thinking about trying to get just a solenoid for the starter. That should be the only problem that's causing it to not let it start. But the battery's good. When you hit it with enough juice, it'll start up good. You boost it off, and it'll run fine. The alternator keeps the battery charged up and doing what it's supposed to do. So it's fine. But can't find just the solenoid. So that's just God's way of telling me that I need to go ahead and replace all that anyway. Since I'm got it down and got it jacked up on the jack stand, might as well go ahead and save up to get that stuff so that I can put that stuff on so that when it is done, it'll start up just fine, not be a problem, be ready to go. Then just be a matter of saving up to get new tires for it, because those got flat spots on them from where it's set so long. And it'll be good to go. And probably start driving it some once I do. Because it's, as much as I love that little car, great on gas mileage, had to get down a little bit to get in it, and have to kind of pick yourself up a little bit to get out of it. That van, I can just kind of slide into it and slide out of it. Uh-oh, here goes Avid. Parody! How you doing, little lady? Tell that pooch I said, oh, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, it's a nice van. 2006 Chrysler Town and Country, 3.3 liter engine. Gives great gas mileage for the size of vehicle and weight that it is. You know, got no complaints about that. It's just needed some work. Once I get the brake line and get the brakes done and all like that, I'm going to decide whether or not I can actually do the rest of it. I'm going to try. But once I get the parts and I've decided whether or not I actually can or not, I might be making a particular call to a particular someone who's been itching to do so anyway. Wouldn't have any idea who that is. They might even be in this chat. But yeah, I talked to Mama Linda about it once. Uh, sometimes I think it might be nice to have a truck again, but you know, with a truck, there ain't nothing covering the back unless you get a camper for it. That's extra expense. That little van right there ain't no more than a little truck with a camper shell on it, but it's all space in there. You set those seats down and get them out of the way. You got a lot of cargo room. So most things I would need to haul, I can haul it in that thing. If I needed something bigger, if I got bigger or more to haul, all right, Purdy, but Dale's also got his devotionals unless he's not going to do his devotional at night. Dale, you going to do your devotional tonight? I'll try to pop in. No, Avid, I think he's a little bigger than Casper. But yeah, it's big enough to haul anything I'm going to need to haul. Plus, it's covered. There's sliding doors on both sides, plus the lift up door on the back. Yeah, so you can get into it several different ways. So, I don't need no truck. If I got something that would require a truck to haul, I just go rent one from Lowe's. Because as it is, that van takes care of anything I need. I just have to get it back on the road. But all things in God's timing. He'll allow me to get what I need to get for it when it's time for me to get it. Piggy is the Harry. I am getting a little woolly. So like I say, it's probably going to take months to get that done, but that's just working in God's timing on how He's got it set up for us to be able to do things. And it'll probably be something that finally gets done and ready when God has something else for us to do. Anyway, just thought I'd show you those wrenches because that was really nice. I can't use them for the job that I've got to do, but they might be there for uh, something else that might come up. So, requires a lot of patience. And the good thing that I've got a lot of patience. I've been taught patience all my life. I got the patience. But now, if you have a problem with patience, you got to ask God to teach you to learn patience. Be careful how you ask for it. Elaine can tell you about that one because she asked him to teach her patience. She did not like the results of that. She learned patience, but it wasn't fun. So you have to be, and that's in anything you ask for. You have to be careful how you ask for it because he'll give you precisely what you ask. So be careful. You know, like they say, careful what you ask for, you just might get it. Well, when you ask God for stuff, you will get it. So you got similar stories like Elaine has, huh, Purdy, about patience. It can be a main thing. Yeah, you have to be careful how you ask for stuff because you will get it. Long time ago, around here, we was going through a drought. The troll next door telling me, needed to pray for rain. Needed to pray for rain. We was in a drought. We needed rain. Well, people asking for it in abundance, they didn't realize they actually needed to ask for it in balance, make things balanced, balance it out. They asked me that, and I kind of looked up towards the sky and I looked back down and said, "It's coming." "What do you mean it's coming?" I said, "Rain." I said, "It's coming." "Well, what makes you think that?" I said, "I don't think that." I said, "I know that." "Well, what makes you think you know that?" I looked back up towards the sky, looked down and said, "How do you think?" Lord taught me. 2 weeks later, we started getting rain, and it was almost nonstop for almost 2 years. Had so much rain, people were sick of it. Because folks would ask for stuff, they was asking for the rain, but they weren't asking for balance. So they was going from one extreme to the other. But they didn't know to ask for balance. You want God to straighten something out for you, ask him to do it with balance. Balance things out. Because if not, you're liable to get slammed with it. There you go, Abbott. Exactly right. That's right, Linda. Yeah, so got to ask for things. You got to ask. You got to use a little wisdom in what you ask for. Well, okay, we're going through a drought. Well, Lord, we need rain, but we need it in balance. Where you balance things out the way they're supposed to be. Don't slam us so much we get floods and everything else, and trees falling and all sorts of other damage. You know, put some balance to it. Yeah, so when praying for stuff, think on it real hard. Use some wisdom when you're asking for it. Kind of line with a 10-foot CB unit. You talking about the antenna, Joe C? Sound like a pretty good setup. I'd have to have something going on to be able to afford the gas for one of them things. Me and her living on my disability, it don't go that far. So we have to budget things out. That's why things are so slow in coming. Because we have to balance it out, budget it out. And I leave all that up to her because, you know, she does real good with all that. She's took what little we get and she's made it into something to where we can do a little bit. So I ain't gonna put my hands in that cookie jar. I just get it messed up and get out a bunch of crumbs on a zip tie. Okay, you got it bent over. That's pretty good. Might be something we'll get into later in years. We got the money. Play around with CB. Hey, yeah. I think there's only been one time we didn't get it. All the rest of the time's been on the money with it. Of course, that one time it was going to be really bad, and God has always seen fit to make things go around this house. I've watched the radar maps when it was going on, and I would see the stuff split right here, right before this ridge behind the house. Split, go around the house, and join back together over in that field, skipping us. But we still got rain, and we still heard and felt some of the thunder, but nothing like it would have been had it come straight across the house. Bends over acres. Howdy. And I'm here to tell you, there ain't no lie. She can tell you, I've sat there and watched the radar map from a local TV channel. Just kept refreshing it, kept watching it. And I have seen more than once those clouds and weather systems split, go around the house, throw them back together over there somewhere. You know, see, some of that stuff, it gets so heavy that if we was directly underneath it, it would probably level this house. So God takes care of it.
Yeah, he does.
And makes it go around. So people don't think there's miracles out there in the world. They are. You know, I see the hand of God lots of times. So I mean, I myself am a walking, talking miracle many times over. 3 times dead, should have been dead when I went through this surgery. Lots of other incidences where I should have wound up dead, but God got me through it.
Mm-hmm.
He even protected me from myself a couple of times. You know, so sat in my neighbor's driveway. He was expecting a couple of different contractors to come do stuff down there at the house I was helping them work on. And so he got one, he's still expecting another one. So I sat in his driveway next door. While I sat there, God entertained me with the clouds. He'd do different shapes with them. So teddy bear, angel, big old sailing ship with all its masts and sails. All right, Des, you take care.
Have a good evening, Des.
You eat good. And all like that. Sat there and entertained me. Imagine that. Got this whole universe to run, but yet took time out to entertain me while I waited on another contractor. That's something else. No, Ben's over. It wasn't my point of time. And every one of those times was for a purpose, for a reason. The first time, one of the main things about the first time, when you die, everything that has been is severed. So when I came back from that first time, everything that had been severed. Previous marriages, relationships, all that. Severed. It was done. Over. Man might not see it that way because, I'm still alive. But, once you die, everything's severed. So when I came back from that, and I was gone for a good long time, I was gone long enough for my body to have grown cold. And the person that was here that helped me get that way was rather surprised when I met them in the doorway of the bathroom. Look of shock in their eyes was telling. So they made an attempt at something and they failed because God said it ain't going to happen. But he used that for severing ties to things and doing a lot of other things. I got a little souvenir to remember it. A little xiphoid complex down here. It used to be flat going down. Now it's a knot. That tells me my heart had exploded. So God had to have built me a new heart. So it's all good. So no, it's not documented. So I can't prove it that way. But I ain't got to prove it to nobody. I know it. God knows it. Anybody else chooses to believe that or not believe that, it's on them. I don't care. I know it happened. And that's that. She knows it's happened because she felt that knot. And it's not natural. You know that it's not the way it should be. And she saw the other two times that I fell out on the floor dead.
That's wicked both times on that.
Yeah. So well, Dale, it's like I told you, nitrogen in the soil, son. I got a job to do, I'm doing it. And just like my daddy told me when I told him that God could take all that off of him, he just kind of gave a knowing smile, and I thought he was patronizing me. And he said, sometimes God has to slow you down so that you can do what it is that he has for you to do for him. So all this, it was a blessing in disguise. It got me an income because we were struggling, and it slowed me down so that I could begin to do what it was he had for me to do. And by doing all this, that's what I'm doing. And As I've said many times, I'm not here for the masses. I'm here for those who reach the masses. You know, and as I've said, sometimes I say things. Next thing I know, somebody's thanking me for it, and I'm like, "What? Why?" You know, there was something in whatever it was I said that spoke to them. Well, so I tell folks, with knowledge and wisdom you gain from my words, don't thank me, for I am neither knowledgeable nor wise, only God is. When you get something like that out of it, that's God talking to you, not me. Because I got no idea if it's saying anything to anybody. God does. So, Dale, you're here. You're more here for the masses than you are certain ones. So, uh, but I used to do little writings on Facebook, and now YouTube became a thing. We're doing that. And, you know, I keep doing it because it's what I'm supposed to do, and I've gotten to feeling close to a lot of folks, and they likewise to me. Yeah, so personally, as I've been saying recently, if not for that, I wouldn't be doing it. But there's a few of you out there that seem to like it, so I do it. I had a pretty good time doing it. Something to do, folks to talk to. Of course, as I've also said, I don't expect this channel to get very big. It's for the hardcore. Well, that's what he does, bends over acres. That's why each of us are unique in the purpose that he has for us to do. Not everybody is meant to reach everybody. You know, it's like a set of tools. They're designed for a specific job, a specific purpose. Who I may reach won't be anybody that you can reach, and who you can reach won't be anybody that I can reach. The ones people are drawn to talk to about certain things, that's a God thing. That's not a who you are thing. You are who God had appointed for that person to come to and talk to. You know, I put it out there. I'll talk to anybody about it. Or if they got problems or want to talk to somebody, I'm here. But few do. Sometimes that's a little frustrating because you really want to help somebody, but you're not the one meant to help that person. So you see somebody you really want to help and they've reached out to somebody else, don't get mad. That's who God had for them to reach out to.
Just be thankful for reaching out.
Right. Well, Kathy Naylor, I appreciate that. Of course, Dale, anything I say is not copyrighted. I don't have a thing on it. You know, like I've said before, I could have furthered my studies and wrote books. Been like some out there, I probably could have a lot of money right now if I'd done that. But what God has for folks that comes through me is not for sale. You see something you can use it. You know, just like that thing I told you about. You ain't late. You there when God said had it time for you to be there. So you're never late. You're there when God had it appointed for you to be there. And if you don't make it there, well, God didn't have it appointed for you to be there. So yeah, of course you can use that. And it's kind of like Star Trek with Scotty. How many times did I got to tell you, you got to use the right tool for the job? That's partially where I get that from. Because it's true. And that's what each of us are, is tools, vessels to carry God's word, to be a spokesperson, to speak God's truth. You know, like like the ones that were sent into the one city and told that they didn't receive his word, for them to leave, dust off their sandals from that place and go on. Don't worry about it, because then God would take care of it. They weren't meant to be the ones. So, and sometimes they are meant to be the ones, but they're also the God's last ditch effort to get a place or someone to acknowledge and accept and realize. And when they reject it, oh well, that was your last chance. God gonna do what he gotta do. Well, Mama Linda, being as heaven is perfect, it would never need to be cleaned because it ain't dirty up there. Well, that's a long story, Kathy. When I was 15, I was given two prophecies, of which I'm fulfilling today. And being 15, young, and you know, hadn't lived life yet, it scared me because I was like, who am I to be such as that to and for God? So of course I ran. But over the years, I come to learn that the running is part of the training that God has set for you to go through in order to be molded into what he has for you to be and do. There's been a lot of back and forth with it. You know, in my first marriage, I'd prayed over my first wife's foot because it was hurting her. God healed her foot. Well, in that same day or week, I don't remember which, someone who would appoint themselves as my authority in Christ over me got in an argument and they claimed that I wasn't saved. How could the Holy Ghost come through and heal my first wife's foot if I wasn't saved? Well, then, Abbott, I'm in trouble because I'm half blind. So there's a lot of back and forth. I've been down a lot of bad roads. I've been down a couple of good roads. But been down a lot of bad roads. Those roads were meant for me to be and go places that I wouldn't have gone myself because God had something for me to do there. And so, of course, I went. And just by being me, my faith in God, you know, God did through me the work that He had intended to be done. It wasn't me, I was just a vessel. And I still am just a vessel. So any good comes of it, that's God, not me. I'm just there because God said so. Uh, but yeah, it's been knowingly since I was 15. You know, of course, now, old Sloop's been trying to kill me since I was conceived. And there's a reason for that. Thought he had succeeded a few times, like when I did those 3 times. God said no. Uh, Saved me from myself. One time in particular, you know, in a car going down the freeway, 80 miles an hour. And it's just 2 lanes on the freeways then. Well, Mama Linda, that just depends on whether or not God has planned for Abby to be able to smoke the piggy. You ever think of that? And it's when I was married to my first wife, and things weren't good. And I'd always been suicidal. I had an opportunity. I had it lined up where the steering was lined up where it goes slightly left. It was lined up where my left front end would have hit the bridge abutment on a bridge coming up. Well, at the last moment, there wasn't nobody with me. There wasn't nobody out on the roads. It would have been rode off as just fell asleep at the wheel. And that last moment, something jerked the steering wheel out of my hands and set me back straight in that left lane. And when I say jerked it out of my hands, I mean it. I was a strong man too. I had my hands on that wheel good. Pulled that steering wheel right out of my hands and set me straight in that left lane, bypassing that bridge. Or I should say that bridge abutment.
Did somebody drop Dale and Abbott's links for tonight, please?
Abbott could drive it himself, can't he?
Yeah, this was, I mean, there's several, you know, I just want somebody to do it.
Don't we have a thing you can type in?
That's for the, yeah. I was talking about their live links for tonight.
Oh,
The type in would just drop there.
okay. If somebody would and could,
Yeah.
Tish gonna be going live. What'd you say? 7 Central. If you're still in there, Tish. They'll say he'll get it.
Thank you.
If you would go ahead and do Tish's as well.
My eyes are blurred. I can barely read chat. That's the only reason I asked.
Oh, that's cool, Kathy. Well, I'll give you another thing about mine. I was hit with that at 15. At 55, I started actively doing things that I didn't realize at the time were fulfilling those two prophecies. And doing what I'm doing here is part of that. Those prophecies were uh, everything that I touched would become as gold. Talking about people, and that they would become precious to God. The other one was that I had a big work to do. That word big was emphasized. Big work to do. That's what scared me. He didn't just say I had a work to do. He didn't just say I had a big work to do. He said I had a big work to do. That scared the fool out of a 15-year-old. That's what set me running. And I've had Elaine tell me about Troll next door, looking at her going, he seems to know things. And the same one that wondered how I knew about the rain that time. Well, how do you think? God told me. Had another lady friend that I helped out one time. Got in a situation, we was talking about stuff, and somebody else was there too. She's like, how does he know? How does he know? Well, God shows me things. I basically come down to I pegged her as to what she was doing, how she was doing, why she was doing it. And she'd been drinking, and she's like, how does he know? And God shows you something, it's real easy. A long time, Mama Linda. Thanks, Dale, for doing that.
Thank you.
So that gives y'all a couple of options there, y'all. Maybe y'all can do some double duty and give them both some time on that. Then Abbott, of course, goes after that, I think. Oh, no, it'd be the same times as Tish. Anyway, there's a choice of lives there. So the key thing about 55 being when all that started happening. That's 40 years from the time I was 15 till the time it started really coming together and started happening. Y'all think on that a while. Y'all will come to start understanding what I mean by that. So
About 10 minutes for the others.
Rambling Rooster. All right. So, well, Kathy, I hope that kind of answers your question. It's mine has been more and not just coming to Christ, but being put on a journey, much like some others we've read stories about. And You know, something a lot of people don't take into account these days. Oh, good, Kathy. You'll like Dale's. Uh, I love to listen to Dale's devotional. Uh, what a lot of people don't remember is they think things are different today than what they were back then. They're not. And Jesus said, I am the same today, yesterday, and forever. Well, if he's the same today, yesterday, and forever, then what was then applies now. Gifts of the Spirit, speaking in tongues, laying on of hands, all that. So a lot of people don't believe in that. They believe, oh, that was just when Jesus was here. Well, Jesus is always here. He's never left. He's still here. The Holy Spirit is still here. They're still the same today as they were yesterday and will be forever. So what was then is also now. So food for thought, folks. Food for thought. I'm going to get ready for Dale's devotional. We've got about 10 minutes, just under. And everything. So I'm going to say, Piggy loves you.